Good evening. Tonight is a special night for Colorado Outspoken. We're here at the Paramount Theater for Margaret Cho's beautiful tour, and her featured guest tonight is Ian Harvie. She took a little time to talk with us just before the show, and so did Ian. I hope you enjoy the conversation.
Science is trying to figure out why someone like me maybe feels like they were born in the wrong body, wrong shell, if you will. And I figured it out. It's not science, genetics, or biology for me, none of that. It's that I really want to pee my name in the snow. I mean, this ain't quite cutting it, is what I'm saying. I mean, this would be fine if my name was
So this is your 10th date on this tour?
I'm not really sure if it's the 10th. I've kind of lost track. We started in Australia. We did 5 dates there, 4 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, and then we've jumped around the States. And I've split the opening position for Margaret with another friend of mine, Liam, who does Kelly. And so I think it's somewhere in that range. Yeah, maybe 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere in there. Kind of lost track.
And many of our viewers who didn't get to see you in the other cities probably have seen you on Logo or Comedy Central, on Wisecrack?
On Logo, yeah, which was such a great opportunity. It was, gosh, it was over a year ago now that we shot that. And it's funny because you know how I got on that was I heard that they were casting queer comedians for Logo for this particular Outlaugh thing that they were doing. And I wrote to the guy who was booking it, and I said, do you have any spots available for someone like me? And he's, oh, we're all booked up. And I said, oh, really, you're all booked up with tranny boy comics? Oh, yeah, you're just full of tranny boy comics. I suppose that, you know, you probably don't have, or just have too many of them already, huh? And he said, actually, no, we don't. Why don't you come on board and do a set?
Why don't you come on down?
Yeah, I kind of played squeaky wheel a little bit.
And it was really not just the novelty of having what you're calling a tranny boy comic, but you were brilliant on that show.
Well, they gave us, you know, 5 minutes to like try to build. That's how it usually is. But they give you like 5 minutes to try to build a rapport, and the audience was just ready, and they were really wonderful. And it was at the Gay Lesbian Center in Renberg, and it was, I think, one of my first. I guess it was officially my first stand-up performance TV credit. So that was really exciting for me.
Is that how you met Margaret?
No, I met Margaret. A couple of different ways. I met her sort of through MySpace and at a bar in Silver Lake in Los Angeles. So I happened to go there. She was doing a set, and I introduced myself. She said, oh, I think we talked on MySpace. And I was like, yeah. But so we ended up conversing more, and then she invited me to a show, and then she invited me to perform on one of her shows. And then we've been working together since. So it's been like a year and a half that we've been working together.
She appears on your show from time to time.
Yeah, I have a little queer comedy talk show in Los Angeles. It's kind of like the late night talk show variety, except everybody on it is queer or super queer friendly. So she comes on there all the time. She's kind of like, I don't know if you remember some of the old shows, like Kitty Carlisle kind of showed up on like every show back in the 70s.
Yes,
and you're like,
I remember.
Okay, like what? How did she get on that? Anyway, but she kind of comes on every show. I had Georgia Fox on from CSI, Buck Angel, who I don't know if you know who he is. He's an adult film star. He's a trans man.
Lots of tattoos.
Tattoos and muscles, and he's just really, you know, he's just really kind of a badass. He's just really, anyway, but it's a really sweet guy. Who else did we have on? We had Alan Cumming come on. That was really fun. And so I've just sort of have sort of stumbled into these people, and usually through Margaret. Like I was doing something with Margaret, they showed up to the event, and I was like, hey, would you mind coming on my show?
Well, after having seen you on Logo and talked to you a few times, I'm really delighted that not only are you here in Denver so we get to see your show,
thanks.
But thank you so much for taking time out just before your show starts to talk with us and introduce yourself to our audience. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. This is Ian Harvie and Eden Lane, and thank you for watching Colorado Outspoken.